discussion about the dimensions of sexism, specifically feminism. First of all, let us discuss about sexism. Sexism is defined as a form of discrimination based on gender. While many people term this specifically to describe about the discrimination against women, sexism can also affect men, intersexuals, and transsexuals, along with individuals who eschew traditional gender roles and identities. In addition to outright discrimination, sexism includes attitudes which support that discrimination, such as stereotyping sex roles and generalizing an entire gender. So now let us define feminism, which is our main topic. Feminism is a diverse collection of social theories, political movements, and moral philosophies largely motivated by or concerning the experiences of women, specifically or especially in terms of their social, political, and economic situation. As a social movement, feminism largely focuses on limiting or eradicating gender inequality and promoting women's rights, interests, and issues in the society. So there are natures of discrimination. Feminism, or the nature of discrimination in feminism, can be experienced by any individual. Say for example, um, a wife calls a certain department for mechanical parts because she's interested in fixing a certain machine. And then the call center agent would directly ask for the husband, thinking that she is not capable of fixing it herself. That's one discrimination. Another is that people would think that women are not capable of driving big trucks. Some experts believe that parents play an important role in the creation of values and perceptions of their children. The fact that girls are asked to help their mothers to do household work, while boys do technical tasks with their fathers, of course, seem to influence their behavior and can sometimes discourage girls on doing what boys can do. Children will then think that each gender should have a specific role and behavior. Another nature of discrimination is found through institutional. Look at this example. When compared with senior public positions, males get the higher position jobs than the females. Here are a couple of examples. For secondary head teachers, for every 286 males, there is just 76 females. Now, for every 26 male council leaders, there's just 6 females. And therefore, senior police officers, for every 38 males, there's just 5 females. Socially, sexual differences have been used to justify different roles for men and women. In some cases, giving rise to claims of primary and secondary roles. Primary roles are given to males, secondary roles are given to females. For the next topic, I have here my co-reporter, Jonas. So he will be helping us with the feminism part.
Hi, my name is Jonas, and I'm here to discuss the causes of feminism. Here are some of the major causes of feminism that we research. First is women were working in a patriarchal environment and the victims of sex discrimination back then. So during the past, when I think until now that men thinks that men are the stronger sex, and we discriminate women based on them being the weaker sex in the society. Second second is years of war and sanctions have already created an extremely vulnerable population. There are many casualties already, and communities have been displaced. Women and children suffer the most. If you remember World War One and Two, um, women and children are the one mostly oppressed, being sex slaves and stuff. So that one caused feminism to rise in the society. If we put it in reference to a theoretical approach or perspective, based on Marxism and feminism, middle-class feminists regard the oppression of women as an inherent biological trait of men. So the feminists right now, they think that feminism is formed based on being gender biased, men being the stronger sex. Marxism explains that the root of women's oppression lies not in biology but in social conditions. So basically it explains that it's not about the stronger sex, but the division of the people in the society. Like women are not given that much opportunity in the society. So Marxism sees the liberation of working class women as a part of the struggle for the liberation of working class as a whole. While feminists set women against men, the socialist movement attempts to forge solidarity between male and female workers in a common struggle against capitalist exploitation. Marxists must energetically take up the cause of women fighting against inequality and all manifestations of oppression, discrimination, and justice. So in conclusion, feminism versus Marxism, the conclusion must be that the oppression of women by men has always existed and therefore presumably will always exist. That's what feminists believe. Marxism explains that this is not the case. It shows that along with the class society, the abolition of the division in the society, of course there will be no feminists if we do not have divisions in the society. So the next part of the discussion will be discussed by Al.
Hey, I've got a question.
Yes, you have a question.
Yeah, right. Since we're talking about feminism and Marxism, in your own opinion, do you think feminism is still explicitly demonstrated in the current society?
Current society? No.
No.
I think.
Can you cite significant examples?
Oh, yeah. In the society in general, like right now, people are more open-minded. Like for example, if we base it in the social care setting,
Right.
Service users or clients are now more open that compared before that they would prefer a woman taking care of them, like
Right.
that. So men and stuff like that. So we're more. I mean, of course, in other fields, not just social care,
Right.
in other like companies, there are positions being held by women, women in power. We have presidents who are women. So no more feminism today, I think. In my
Right.
opinion. Next is Al. Faith.
Hi, good day everyone. My name is Al. How are you guys doing? I hope you
Doing
guys-
fine.
Fine, thank
Great.
you.
Okay, so I'm gonna start my report by giving you guys an example. So I want you guys to look at this picture. You probably know them, probably don't.
We don't.
You don't, yeah.
Oh,
That's good. That's good then. So let's give a picture of a scenario. And this is the story behind that picture. So Joan is a 46-year-old single parent supporting 3 girls. She has been sexually abused by her husband, who is now in jail for 5 years. Joan is supporting her daughters aged 6, 12, and 19 by working as a government employee while her 19-year-old daughter is working as a secretary in a local office after quitting her secondary school. So remember the picture. This is Joan. It's the 19-year-old child, and there you go. So my report.
Is this like a true story?
No, it's not. It's a
Fictional
it's
story.
a fictional.
Right.
story.
Okay.
All right. So my report is about the effects of feminism to behavior, experience, and life chances. And I want to start by saying there is no statistics whatsoever, or we cannot clearly measure the effect or impact of sexism to behavior, experience, and life chances, because obviously everyone has their own kind of experiences. So I want you guys to picture my discussion by giving you a timeline given the 1950s and the current one, which is 2011, right? So as we go along, just try to picture the difference between both. I want to start by discussing mandatory military service. If I want to ask Charlie, Charlie, do you think women in the 1950s would have the same opportunities compared today?
No.
Yes, probably some of you would say no. Probably most of you
Well,
would
like,
say
I've seen in movies
yes. Yes.
women.
But there were a lot of struggles
Yeah, there
in
were a lot of
between those
struggles,
years,
right.
right? Compared to, of course, 2011. Now, compared to today, women do not have the option of joining the United States military as an infantry soldier. There's still a common struggle for women coming in and out of military, but obviously today it's much the discrimination is not much evident compared in the 1950s. Um, I want to go jump into domestic violence, which is the most common effect that women would have to their behavior and experience in terms of feminism. Now, domestic violence takes on many different forms, which include verbal, physical, psychological abuse. And while statistics show that women are more often the victims of domestic violence, men also make up a small percentage, but that's clearly small. So I want to go back to my example by saying that this, you know, example of a family, the woman was sexually abused by the husband, and obviously there was a struggle with the children having to go live without the father, and you would basically imagine what the impact of that experience to the children in terms of behavior and life chances. And I want to go back to the timeline where I said, if that experience would have been 1950, such, do you think it would have been the same kind of experience for the children if the family or if the wife was, sexually abused in the 1950 compared to today? Do you think it would have been the same kind of life chances to the children?
No, I think there would be a significant difference.
There's definitely a significant difference in terms of opportunities might be.
Right.
In the first place, in the 1950s, there haven't been much opportunities for them to work probably, and opportunities to go to school, right? So there goes some of the effects of feminism. Now I just wanted to jump in on some of the topics like education and salary and gender wage gap. So for education, women in the past have generally been disadvantaged from higher education. When women were admitted to higher education, they were encouraged to major in subjects that were considered less intellectual. The study of English literature in American and English college and universities was in fact instituted as a field of study considered suitable for women of lesser intellects. Now that in itself, the statement in itself is already biased or discriminating. So if I want to ask Marian, if we go back to the 1950s, do you think women would have more opportunities for education?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, some of you probably would say, yeah, probably women would have lesser opportunities to study law.
again, going back to that, I've seen a lot of movies where women in belonging to a better family would have.
Yes, so again, certain factors
There's
as
there are
status,
certain elements that you get to
yeah.
consider before you
I-
generalize that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess what we're trying to say is more of the mostly most
Well,
of the
those
people
movies are
who
based
are
on history.
working in those ages would probably have lesser opportunities. And of course, since I talk about education, it would eventually roll up to salary and occupational sexism or gender wage gap. Now, in addition, women frequently earn significantly less wages than their male practice, which exploits women and which is a result of existing patriarchal societal order. Same goes true with the wage gap because over time there has been issues with women being paid less, considering that they have the same kind of workload with the men. So I'm gonna go back probably in the same example, right? So do you think that the women would have the same kind of opportunities to earn um, similarly with the men in the 1950s compared in 2011? Or do you, you probably would say no, probably so should say yes. So I guess it goes back to what are in the first place, the industry, the community, the wealth, the family where they belong to. And as I go back to my example, that there really isn't a measurement whatsoever of how we can, or a statistics on how we can measure the effects of feminism and behavior because it goes hand in hand with their life experiences, it goes hand in hand with their societal status and whatnot. So there. And I guess that wraps up my report for effects of feminism. Anyone of you guys have any other questions?
No.
Wonderful. So there. So I want to call back my teammates, Marian and Jonas, for Team Sexism. And if you guys don't have any questions, we would like to thank you guys for being with us. And have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.